Now Creighton is going to be man-to-man. These two teams both, like I said, shoot the three, but they get their threes in different ways. Iowa State has a post-game with Morgan Kane. They can go inside, pass out, relocate, even use ball screens. Where you're going to see Creighton, they do a lot of screening away from the ball.
That pass goes through the hands of Morgan Kane. Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One starting lineups. First for the Creighton Bluejays. There's a lot of young faces in this lineup for Creighton.
But they are not, the Bluejays, shy about pulling the trigger to shoot the three.
Yeah, that was Emily Ronsick who let that one fly. She is their leading scorer and leading rebounder, averaging 15 points per game. First foul called on Tatum Rembau. Iowa State's lineup, look, we saw a lot of these faces last year, but they were freshmen. One of those, Emily Ryan, their point guard. What a step she has taken in her sophomore season.
Well, she is such a vocal leader, great composure. She can deliver the basketball at the right time, at the right place, but she's also upped her scoring as well this season.
All Big 12 first team selection, Emily Ryan. Ashley Jones, the drive, the kick out to Naimir Dew for three. There it goes.
You see the penetrate and pitch from Iowa State, where for Creighton, it'll be a lot of screening away from the ball. Pass and cut. To watch Ashley Jones get to the middle of the floor, causing the defense to bite. What do you do when you're the teammate of Jones, but space out and have your hands ready, knock down the three.
Dew getting her 6th straight start. Has a lot of versatility, and Bill Fenley told us he really likes her in that starting lineup. Lexi Donarski passing inside. And Beatrice Jordao gets herself to the free throw line. How much does Bill Fenley love this basketball team?
Oh, when we asked him about the success that they've had and what they've done just so far this season, he had to take a second. He got emotional, he got choked up, and I think a lot of it has to do with coming off that COVID year and everything that that young team had to go through, and they have stuck with it, stayed committed, and experienced the success he's been looking for this season.
First Sweet 16 for Iowa State since 2010.
Now, when you're a motion team, you should be prepared to defend another motion team, but there's nothing easy about the motion offense.
How does it test the defense the most?
You've got to be aware for the full 30 seconds of the shot clock. You cannot relax, because as soon as you do, that's when your player either gets a screen or sets a screen and then slips and cuts, and then they're the one that's open, and then you'll probably hear the horn because your coach has got a sub sitting for you at midcourt.
Carly Batchelor missed the bucket on the other end for Creighton. Emily Ryan shot off the mark, and this will be Creighton basketball. Jim Flannery, I mean, he is the definition of Creighton. He has been there since he went to school there. He started as a graduate assistant, and now he has got Creighton to its very first Sweet 16 in program history.
Well, the players that come there, they've got to love this system, because if he's recruiting you, it's because you can shoot the basketball and you've got the green light to do exactly that.
Now, both of these teams have set new school records for single-season made three-pointers. Peyton Bronski finishes.
Bronski was on fire against Iowa in the second-round game, and she really set the tone offensively as she and Lauren Jensen really were able to be the major production to get the win.
Yeah, she was 3 for 8 from behind the arc, had a season-high 13 points in the upset of Iowa, the number 2 seed. Dew right to the basket, got her own board, got her own putback.
Dew has shown you've got to respect her from the three-point line, but she's slippery. She can get all the way to the basket.
Jensen saves it, back in bounds to Tatum Rembau.
Creighton, #1 team in the country in assists. They move the basketball so well. It's not like they know where the cuts are going to be.
And it was interesting listening to you after you watched a lot of film on Creighton, was that they don't dribble the ball very much.
And when you don't dribble usually teams that over dribble are teams that turn the ball over. But they are constantly, before you catch the ball, Creighton players are looking at and know whether they're going to shoot it or where that next open person is going to be. Oh.
Lauren Jensen is down on the other end for Creighton. She is up, though, trying to hustle back down the floor.
Oh, she's tough. She ain't coming out of this game.
Bronski short. Yeah, Lauren Jensen, we showed you, hit the game winner against her former team.
Wow, she had a night. And on that shot, too, look, there was no timeout called. There was 12 seconds left on the clock. And Flattery just said, go ahead, you know what to do. Get the ball to Jensen, and she knocked it down.
Bachelor got caught underneath the basket. Ashley Jones will try the three. It's been a little quiet offensively so far. Iowa State now missed its last 4 shots.
Well, Lexi Donarski's got to get a look, too.
It's number 21 in white for Iowa State. She's the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12. Buckets! Peyton Bronski.
I told you, Bronski is like a silent assassin, but you see her waving to the crowd like, come on, into her cheering section. I need you to get a little bit louder. She's feeling it.
And through their 2 NCAA tournament games, she's averaged 10.5 points per game, and that'll be a turnover by Morgan Kane. Well, Iowa State back in the Sweet 16. They've had this on their minds for a while now. More on that coming up. Well, last season, the tournament played in a bubble in San Antonio, and Iowa State found themselves playing Texas A&M in the second round. Time ticking down. Jordan Nixon with the basketball for Texas A&M. Banks in the game winner. Iowa State goes home, and Texas A&M was the one advancing to the Sweet 16. And look, that score, 84-82. Bill Finley wanted to make sure his team did not forget it, and they have been using that as motivation to get back here, and this time advance past the second round to their first Sweet 16 since 2010.
He put the score up in their gym and left it all summer.
For a long time.
You think that's a reminder to get in the gym and do work if you want to go further?
Miller McGraw's shot is off the mark, but to his credit, he said, look, I went to my players and I asked, is this okay?
Right.
And they were all about it. They wanted that motivation. They were ready to go back and work hard and get to this point, and that hard work has paid off. There's a steal by Lexi Donarski, the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year.
Look, Bill Finley really didn't need a motivation, because every single player that we have talked to from Iowa State have a terrific work ethic. They all talk about how they've worked either outside, how they've worked in finding gyms, how they get in the gym extra, and at times Bill Finley's had to lock the gym door to keep some of them out.
And that's how hard these players want to work, and it's a relatively young group. There's a very big core of sophomores. You know, it wasn't just putting the score on the scoreboard. They had shirts made. Remember the Alamo. Remember they played in San Antonio. And then the score on the back of those shooting shirts.
Well, they had the motto, one play away.
Yeah.
So everything in talking about conversation of wanting to make that next step, and a reminder, and I got to believe it gave a little extra effort into the workouts as each player put in, as that's the goal in their mind.
This Iowa State team defeated Georgia in the second round this year, 67-44. No doubt about that win. And look at all the records that have been set this season by this group. It wasn't just getting back to the Sweet 16. They've elevated their game on all levels.
We got to understand the majority of this lineup, they were freshmen last year. A year of experience. You can see that these young women have grown up. They understand the game. The confidence is there. When to take steps, take shots, when to make plays.
Donarski called on the travel, and a turnover by Iowa State.
Guys, I think one of the big reasons why Coach Finley got so emotional with us talking about this team is, those were freshmen that he mentioned the isolation with COVID and the sacrifice that they had to make, that they didn't even really get to have the real freshman year and experience.
Maly Mogensen hits that one, and you're absolutely right, Steffi. This was a group when they got to Iowa State. COVID was happening. They were driving around trying to find a basketball court to get some work in.
Look, and driving around and shooting the basketball outside in Iowa on a windy day. Throw your shot off.
Creighton trying to go inside here. It's a Mallory break. And that foul's on Ashley Jones, her first. Morgan Maly. Turnover. 4 turnovers now by the Blue Jays. Oh, Ashley Jones. Count the bucket.
She went about 90 feet from once she got the basketball and then change of speed. I have conversations with people all the time of talking about where Ashley Jones will go in the draft, in the WNBA. And I think that any team would be fortunate to have her. Number one, the work ethic that she brings. But number two, you can play her, and versatility is so valuable in the WNBA. And she can play 2, 3, 4 for any team in the league.
Yeah, 33 or more points in 2 of her last 3 games. It's not bad. It's pretty good.
Oh, I think it's excellent. And she's got constant energy. I have never seen Ashley Jones play and give the appearance of being fatigued.
Rachel Saunders called for the foul. The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Duracell, power you can trust.
Okay, watch out now. You have 2 Jones sisters on the floor. Aubrey Jones is in along with Ashley.
The rest of them are sitting in the stands. There's 5 Jones girls.
Sitting between mom and dad. Dad does a terrific job of coming up with different drills and training for his young daughters to do.
Lauren Jensen trying to get her shot going, but misses. Emily Ryan with the rebound. Dinarski will take that 3 and sink it. Largest lead for the Cyclones.
I'd love to watch Lexi Dinarski play defense. She loves it, thrives on it, and was taught to play it at a young age.
Good save by Emily Ryan. That basketball almost went out of bounds. Trying to add to this 8-0 run. Travel by Rachel Saunders.
Remember last year with Lexi Dinarski, at times Bill Finley said he had to tell her to shoot the ball, wanted her to shoot the ball more. You see in her sophomore season, there is no hesitation.
She is the first McDonald's All-American to sign with Iowa State. Just got the basketball stripped away, though, by Maly Mogensen. Lauren Jensen for 3. Remember, both of these teams average 10 3-pointers a game.
How many have we got so far?
3 for Creighton, 2 for Iowa State. Dinarski's off the mark. Creighton running out of time. The hustle, the floater from Batchelor is no good. Just a 3-point game after 10 minutes.
Well, right now, Iowa State with a 3-point lead, but no lead is safe. And you see how quickly the ball can get from one end to the other. You got the steal for Maly Mogensen and then headed the other direction. Who did she find? The bomber from long distance, Lauren Jensen.
Back in Greensboro here with Creighton head coach Jim Flannery, and it was a back and forth first quarter. What were your thoughts on the first 10 minutes?
Well, we got to take better care of the ball. We gave up a layup off a turnover and an and one off a turnover, and then we gave up, corner three in transition. So we got to settle down, and we're playing a little too fast, okay? But offensively, but defensively we're fine. I mean, other than the baskets we gave up in transition. So, we move the ball, settle down, get our nerves about us, and we'll be fine.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks, Steffi.
Jim Flannery is the all-time winningest coach in Creighton women's basketball history, making his 5th NCAA appearance with the Creighton Bluejays. This is their 8th appearance overall. And on his coaching staff, Carly Berger is a big part of that. She has not been able to be with the coaching staff for a very good reason.
She has an excellent reason.
Yeah, because her son was born on March 15th. She just had a baby. Luke Nicholas Berger, 8 pounds, 5 ounces. So Coach Berger is not here, but Connie Yori, who was the head coach, and Jim Flannery was her assistant, has come back on the staff.
Well, what better person to fill in for one of your assistants being out than someone who knows your system, because they work together and he got a lot of his system from her.
How cute is that little baby? Baby Luke.
Baby Luke is a little bitty thing.
You know, you heard Coach Flannery say they got sped up a little bit. We saw that in their turnovers so far early in this game.
Creighton has 5 turnovers in that first quarter. They only average 13 a game. That's very unusual for the Blue Jays.
Jordow working inside for the Cyclones. Rebound by Mogensen.
And that's what Iowa State has, that Creighton really doesn't, a post presence, but Jordow not able to finish inside.
Jensen looking for some help. Mogensen shot off to the right. She hits the deck, but no whistle called. And they call a foul on Tatum Rimbaugh underneath.
Well, Rimbaugh got caught trying to defend Ashley Jones and push her off the bench, or off the block. Go ahead.
That's a second foul on Rimbaugh.
Yeah, when really need Rimbaugh on the floor with Mogensen, that will help, should help trim down the turnovers for the Blue Jays.
Jump ball possession arrow pointing towards Iowa State. Now, both teams struggling to score it right now. Iowa State shooting 28%, Creighton shooting 31%.
Keep an eye on number 21, Lexi Donarski, who is closest to us to half court. She's way out of the play right now.
They go to Jordow. Ryan driving. Layup for Emily Ryan.
That's 3 passes within the Creighton offense without anybody dribbling the basketball. It's still, that's the first dribble within the possession from Rimbaugh.
Batchelor with the open look.
Iowa State is making Jordow really work inside.
And Morancic is just battling her down there. The kick back out to Ashley Jones. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, Jordow, she deserves a break. She's put in work. It is hard work to post up and have to post and repost inside. Well deserved. Take a break, get you a sip of water.
And they bring Aubrey Jones back in off the bench. Not a lot of time for the Cyclones. Bronski just went to the hoop.
Well, the lane will be there for Creighton because they spread the floor so well. And then it's just a matter of quick ball movement as the defense is moving to shift to give the opportunity to drive.
Ashley Jones going to work. She's got a lot of tricks in her bag. Second chance. Due for three.
Lauren Jensen's got to get going for Creighton. Now, most teams that try to defend Creighton, they try to switch on screens, not Iowa State. Everybody is staying who they are responsible for one-on-one.
I want to remind you the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Sweet 16 continues tonight on CBS and TBS. For more information on game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. They were playing the St. Peter's Purdue game in the arena here in between games. Everybody went nuts when Purdue went down. St. Peter's moving on.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, you know, I can't be thrilled about any of the Boilermakers getting beat. So my bracket.
I'm here for a good story.
My bracket is busted.
Yeah. It wasn't before tonight?
Oh, it was last night. Yeah. But that's been the greatest part about this month and this year's tournament is you got to watch everyone. Anything can happen. I mean, you look at how Creighton got here, knocking off Iowa.
Leah Boston taking in this one after 28 points and 22 rebounds.
We're going to have to check out the popcorn because they're making that look good.
Yeah. South Carolina gets the winner of this game as South Carolina defeated North Carolina earlier tonight.
Emily Ryan, not only a terrific point guard in distributing, but she's finding opportunities of when to score. If not, she's hit over 53s this season. And also, we just saw her go down, really back down dribble and score buckets.
Yeah, when she's not doing that, she's assisting too because she set a single season assist record this year. 243 assists coming into this game for Emily Ryan. Inside to Dew. Working on Bronski. Bronski cutting to the basket, going to the free throw line. It's the first foul called on Aubrey Jones.
Ashley Jones getting a break right now.
She's one of 3 players with 5 points for Iowa State.
And Dew has been a great asset, inserted into the starting lineup. Look at Emily Ryan.
7 points now for Emily Ryan. Grew up loving Jackie Stiles, actually played for Jackie Stiles' dad, Pat Stiles. That was her AAU coach.
Well, and she talked about how she saw the work ethic that Jackie Stiles put in and what the results were. So she wanted the same for herself. And if there's anybody to pattern your game after, yeah, Jackie Stiles, she had for a long period of time led the nation in scoring. And Emily Ryan is showing the versatility of the different ways that she can be productive as well.
First foul called on Maggie Espin-Miller-McGraw. Ryan comes out with the basketball. Look, Peck, I know you don't like to lose. Emily Ryan didn't have to. She went 104-0 in high school. No losses.
How do you learn coping skills if you never lose?
Don't be bagging on her for not losing a game.
I'm not. That's impressive to never lose. But you know what? She's kept that competitive drive also.
5 seconds. Three goes up from Creighton's Morgan Maly. She's got 5 points.
Like literally in this game, no lead is ever safe because of the way these two teams can shoot the three.
Espen Miller-McGraw. Do you mean like that?
I'm telling you. You said you got your umbrella.
I better get my poncho out.
You gonna have to. With the way these two teams can shoot the basketball.
Both teams with 4 made three-pointers. They both average just over 10 made threes a game. Paint points for Morgan Maly. She's leading Creighton right now with 7. And Dew is fouled by Emma Ronsick. That's the second on Ronsick. Getting a little more taste of that 3-ball.
Two teams that shoot the three extremely well. First, for Iowa State, they did it first, and then on the other end, Creighton said, I got some too. It's gonna be back and forth between these two teams.
That one blocked by Believy. Believy can't dunk it. Does she? Yes! It's a down! And this place erupts.
My teammates have been getting on me because I haven't dunked yet this year. I went for it, and I went in.
Tell me how I look in the crowd.
Well, last week in the opening rounds, we got to see Fran Believy dunk one. Right now, Stanford in action, taking on Maryland. Stanford up 32-19 right now. You can see that one over on ESPN. But we've talked about the threes in this game. And, Steffi, there's something special going on with Stanford and the 3-ball in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I had such a good time talking with Tara Vanderveer the first 2 rounds. And, you know, she is donating $10 for every 3-pointer made in this NCAA tournament to support Ukraine and humanitarian efforts. There were 629 threes so far coming into this game, guys, and several coaches have joined in attempts to match Tara Vanderveer, one of those being Nell Fortner from Georgia Tech. Dawn Staley was asked about it. She said she would join. So now getting a lot of other coaches joining in the effort with Tara Vanderveer.
Well, so far we have 8 threes in this game, and my University of Tennessee education says that's $80.
Well worth every cent paid for that education.
Steffi, I got to ask you, what was it like to watch Fran Believy dunk?
Look, I stood up in the game. And the best part afterwards was she said, I thought it would be dope. That's such a California thing to say.
It was dope.
It was.
What I loved was Tiffany Green said she could dunk, and then she did it. That was awesome.
She's also 6'1". Most of the time we see players 6'4", Brittany Griner 6'7", 6'8". That's what I think is most impressive that people haven't necessarily thought about, is how short she is.
I saw her do it in high school. I knew it. She had it in her bag.
Okay, Morgan Maly has just said, hello, second quarter, I am here.
All she had to do was come in off the bench. Morgan Maly is instant offense for the Creighton Bluejays.
They get almost 30 points per game off of their bench. She has 12 of those in the NCAA tournament. She's been averaging 14 points per game and 10 rebounds per game.
Well, Jim Flannery said if you're going to play 8 or 9 players, you might not always start your best 5. So you've got that punch when you go to your bench.
She is definitely that punch. Tie game as we approach 2 minutes left in the half. Donarski needs some help, dumps it off to Emily Ryan. Up to 9 points.
Well, and Ashley Jones is spending, number 20 in white, spending a lot of time on the bench as well. She's only got 1 foul.
She's got
she's got
fouls,
2?
Yeah.
I was looking at the other Jones. There's too many Jones on the roster, and there's going to be another one
there's
coming
more
in.
coming. Bill Finley has hit the Jones family recruiting hotbed.
You know, guys, when we talked to Ashley Jones about just what the environment is like at home, 5 girls in the house, loud is what she said. Loud.
Loud, but you hear constant dribbling of the basketball, whether it's at home or whether it's at their restaurant in Iowa City, Jonesy's, where all the sisters work. I mean, it's a family affair, but if they're not working in the kitchen or working at the restaurant, they're working together on the basketball court.
Oh, an easy look for Emily Ryan. Back and forth we go. Both teams shooting just 33% from the field. That one's off by Lauren Jensen. Top of the key, Donarski.
You watch how Creighton, there's not too many on-ball screens, but just constantly movement without the basketball ever being dribbled.
Morgan Maly, the first Creighton Blue Jay in double figures. She's got 14 now, 4 or 5 from the field.
Morgan Maly has terrific size, and I think the versatility of her game allows her so many different options scoring-wise.
Well, coming up on Degree in the studio, they'll take a look back at South Carolina's win. Aaliyah Boston, 28 points, 22 rebounds, plus Ohio State and Texas went down to the wire. A 3-point win for the Longhorns, putting them back-to-back Elite Eights with under Vic Schaefer.
The freshman, Rory Harmon, again, comes through for Vic Schaefer. Vic has talked from the day that Rory Harmon stepped on campus that she was going to be a special point guard, and she has been great for him in the postseason.
Iowa State to inbound here. Shot clock is off. They can take the last shot of the half. Donarski has the basketball.
Donarski one-on-one. She's got options of shooters around her.
Trying to get a foul call, won't get it. Jensen hustling. A tie ball game at the half, 30 points apiece as these two teams look for a spot in the Elite Eight. Let's get you back to the studio with Elle. Welcome back inside Greensboro Coliseum. Courtney Lyle alongside Carolyn Peck, Steffi Sorensen on the sidelines for us tonight. And you take a look at both of these teams, I mean, there's so much on the line for both of them. Creighton is trying to become just the 4th double-digit seed to make the Elite Eight.
Well, and they've got a lot of depth to do that, and that's played a big part in having this game tied up. Morgan Maly, she came off the bench. She only played 10 minutes. She has 14 points. And then for Iowa State, then it's a matter of the point guard, Emily Ryan, who really took over, took charge, and really has forced the issue offensively to make things happen for the Cyclones.
Look, and what we've learned is that this game could go either way because both these teams shoot the 3 at a very high rate. It can jump back in the game. Morgan Maly, hello, second quarter.
She had 14 points in 10 minutes. They were all in the second quarter. She was instant offense coming in for the Blue Jays, but Emily Ryan, now a point guard. We're used to her delivering the basketball, but what did she do? But she stayed in attack mode. She was aggressive offensively. With the lane opened up, Emily Ryan took full advantage.
Let's take a look at the Geico first half stats. Creighton with 5 3-pointers made, Iowa State with 4. And we told you what Maly and Ryan did in that second quarter. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here in the second half. Steffi, were you able to catch up with Jim Flannery?
Yeah, I was, and let's start with the good. He really liked the way that their team finished out that second quarter, especially Morgan Maly. But really, what offensively, he liked post touches. That was the most important thing for him on the offensive side of the floor. But 8 offensive rebounds for Iowa State was a big concern. Expect them to clean that up to start this third quarter, guys.
And Iowa State got 7 points off of those 8 offensive rebounds. Spot in the Elite Eight on the line.
Well, now Iowa State starting out in a zone. Jim Flattery told Steffi Sorensen about paint touches, and that's got to be a reason Iowa State went to try to clog up the lane.
So they're going to say this is Creighton basketball, and almost all the coaches on the Iowa State bench got up immediately. Back into the corner, Bronski. Lauren Jensen with the offensive rebound on the swish.
Dribbling is overrated.
Yep, apparently if you're Creighton.
Creighton doesn't need it. You saw Lauren Jensen rebound it. Ball didn't drop below her shoulder. She was ready to go right into her shot.
They have more paint points for Iowa State thanks to Emily Ryan. She's up to 13.
She's so deceptive. When she goes to dribble, you think it's going to be a handoff. She does a little hesitation. If the defense doesn't bite, there's the bank.
Do you see her face?
No, absolutely. All the expression in the world.
Tatum Rimbaugh will take that. She's their point guard, has been through so much to get to this point. Injuries her last 2 seasons, just made 11 appearances last year. Great ball movement.
And the use of the bounce pass. I love that.
Creighton with its largest lead. It was hard for either team to get in a flow in that first half. There was a lot of stops and starts, a lot of missed shots, a lot of fouls. Maybe a little nerves, too.
Well, I think these teams, they've settled in, and Creighton definitely looks like they don't look like they're a 10 seed. Very composed. Everybody that has come in has been ready to contribute.
Bachelor driving the kick out. Rimbaugh, the bank and the swish, whatever you want.
She wanted to show you that bank was no fluke, that she's got three-point range.
Creighton has come out of the locker room with a lot of confidence. Dew is fouled, working in the lane.
Creighton, #1 team in assists in the country. Why? Because they move the ball just like that. They know where the cuts, where the openings are going to be. If they make the defense bite, they are able to kick out to find the hot hand, the open hand, and have the ability to knock down the shot.
Peyton Bronski was whistled for her first foul. It puts Naimir Dew at the free throw line. And Iowa State are a really good free throw shooting team. They won't put anybody at the free throw line. They just let them get back. They shoot 81% from the charity stripe.
What kind of confidence does Creighton have right now, especially with having the ability? They knocked off Iowa in the second round. They've got a lead right now over Iowa State. Look, they belong.
And they brought their 3 to Greensboro. Peyton Bronski, boom. Creighton with 8 made threes. They averaged 10 a game.
See Creighton, they're switching all screens on the perimeter. They're making it tough for Iowa State to score inside.
Bronski this time driving. Batted up in the air. Foul down low, it's on Morgan Maly. Second foul on Maly.
We told you that Creighton had the ability to shoot the 3. They've still got it going.
Ashley Jones, she can shoot the 3 too. Look, she spent a lot of time in the first half on the bench with some foul trouble, but she is their leading scorer and their leading rebounder. You see her dad in the stands, Brian. How different is Iowa State with Ashley Jones on the floor?
Well, the opponents have to pay attention to where number 24 in white is. And more times than not, she requires not one, but two, sometimes three defenders to possibly slow her down. And then that opens up everybody else for the Cyclones.
Kick out, Donarski. Back down the other way.
Morgan Maly, she was looking for that shot. She is always ready to pull the trigger.
She can post up two. Two more for Morgan Maly. That puts her total at 16. Efficient too, 5 of 6 from the field. Cyclones go inside to Ashley Jones. The double team comes. Her second three.
Since she's been put in the starting lineup, they really found out she was good in that starting lineup when Morgan Kane had to go out and miss a game. And so when Dew came back in, Bill Finley really earned a lot of confidence and trust in Dew with the ability that she has to score the basketball.
Creighton ahead right now, 45-42 here in Greensboro.
Creighton Blue Jays have taken a 3-point lead. Well, how? They've hit 8 threes. You had Morgan Maly came in and knocked down a three, and then you had Tatum Rimbaugh, 2 in a row. First was a bank, the other one was for an exclamation point. The offense is working well for the Blue Jays.
Creighton is shooting 66% from the three here in the third quarter. 42% for the game. They've got those 8 threes, and remember, they average just over 10 made threes per game. It helped them take this lead over Iowa State.
And look, Lauren Jensen, she had 19 against Iowa, only 5 points today.
There's still time.
Well, she hadn't needed to.
Yeah, Tatum Rimbaugh up to 10. Second player for Creighton in double figures today. The other one, it's Morgan Maly with 16.
I mean, she just came in and was like kerosene. Got the Jayhawks on fire.
Ashley Jones fighting for her own rebound. It's turned up Creighton's defense as well.
Well, when your shots fall on that, then your defense tends to get a little bit better.
Jones' family got a front row seat.
They do. They are right behind the team. But what Iowa State now has got to figure out ways of how to get stops. Creighton is really tough because of the cuts and the threats that they have to the basket as you're trying to take away their three-point option.
Yeah, Creighton not only shooting the three, but they've got 14 paint points.
Look, there's another cut right there. After a screen, you got a curl action happening, gives that paint threat.
That's Rachel Saunders. Her first points. Emily Ryan, no.
Something that Creighton does so well is they pass the ball, they move without the basketball. Listen, if you're not dribbling, it doesn't allow help side or strong side to stand. You've got to constantly guard, and that's why we're seeing abundance of layups right now for Creighton, and threes, guys.
Well, the other thing on that too, Steffi, is getting face cut. If you're the defender, you've got to jump up and make the offense. If they're cutting to the basket, they got to go behind you.
Quick pass inside to Ronsick. Iowa State will try Ashley Jones inside again. And she gets fouled.
When the ball goes inside to Ashley Jones, though, the passer, they've got to relocate because the defender or the passer is going in to double team Ashley. So she can kick it out, and then you have the option to get it back inside. Been pretty impressed with Creighton's defense as well.
Yeah, they've been tough.
But they were so scrappy against Iowa. They're bringing the same business today.
They also rebounded the basketball very well. They had 52 rebounds in the upset of the 2-seed Iowa. And there's a foul. Steffi, I want to bring you back in because I want to talk about this Creighton motion offense. And we talked to a lot of the players about how difficult it is to learn.
Yeah, Courtney, I spent a year, my freshman year at FGCU, and we saw them upset Virginia Tech in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And listen, as a freshman, when you get into this system and you're not dribbling, you're not ball screening, and you're just setting screens for each other, you can run into each other. You can screen air. Let me tell you something. When you watch a replay and you're screening air, it's embarrassing.
Oh, Lauren Jensen, largest lead for the Blue Jays.
Steffi, if you're going to set a screen on air, there's a problem. Open your eyes. You got to find the defense. You have to have the mentality of getting a teammate open. That's the secret to the Creighton offense. You got to move the basketball. You screen, cut, then move the ball, find the open player, line it up, knock it down. Creighton right now in control.
Creighton packed that shot, brought it to Greensboro, and Creighton as a 10 seed is trying to make their very first Elite Eight in program history. Creighton, one of 2 double-digit seeds that have made it to this round of the tournament. The other one is South Dakota, who we'll see tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN2 when they take on Michigan. But only 3 times has a double-digit seed advanced to the Elite Eight. The last was Oregon in 2017.
What do they have in common? This team shoot the 3.
Yeah.
That's what Oregon did. That's what South Dakota did. That's what Creighton does. And in this third quarter, Creighton was 9 of 15 from the floor, 4 of 7 from the three-point line.
Iowa State defensively, what do you do about that?
You have to have more individual accountability, one-on-one. You've got to up your communication. When screens are happening away from the ball, you've got to communicate. If you're switching, switch. If your person is screening, you've got to call the screen so that your teammate is aware.
There's a foul on Aubrey Jones of Iowa State, her second.
I mean, Steffi talked about how hard it is to learn the motion offense. It's twice as hard to defend it.
I was going to say, just to stop it.
Because there's so many options, and a lot of times, actor wins, reactor loses, right? So sometimes defensively, you've got to guess, and you've got to dictate what you're going to allow the offense to have, because if you're at their mercy, forget about it.
Creighton's going to have 3 seconds off of this inbounds play. The Blue Jays have outscored Iowa State 22-16 here in the third quarter. Uh-oh, another 3-ball coming. At the buzzer! Morgan Maly! What a shot!
Morgan Maly's shot is beautiful. She is a lefty. She lines it up. And you leave her at the trail position. If you don't find her, she's going to make you pay.
She played basketball, softball, and ran track in high school. Was the Nebraska Gatorade Player of the Year. Also the valedictorian of her high school class. Smart pass from Maly.
Patience. Waited for the cut to happen. The open cutter to develop to be there.
Do again. That's her third three-pointer.
Iowa State has got to put together back-to-back stops.
It's hard when Creighton has come out of the locker room since halftime. They brought their confidence with them.
I'm watching Morgan Maly. That would be my option as this shot clock runs down.
She's number 30 in blue. Rimbaud gives it to her. Oh, there's the lane. Shakes off the defender. Pretty good way to end the quarter if you're Creighton.
When you know you have a weapon like Morgan Maly, she's got the threat from the three. She also has the strength and the ability to get to the basket. She can deliver for the Blue Jays. Morgan Maly right now has Creighton in control. They're up 8, and it's not just the scoring, but the sharing the sugar a little bit for the Blue Jays. Things are looking good for Creighton right now as we head into this fourth quarter.
Back in Greensboro here with Bill Finley, and Coach Creighton really poured it on there in the third quarter. How can you slow them down offensively?
Yeah, they played great. Our scouting report defense is not very good right now. We got to make sometimes you got to score to withstand the defensive lapses. We got to be a little bit more committed. We got 10 minutes left to play.
What's your message to them right when you walk into the huddle?
You got 10 minutes left to play. You want to go home or you want to play? It's pretty simple.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Maybe guard a little bit.
And we talked about how hard it is to guard this Creighton offense, and they surged in that third quarter, scoring 29 points. They lead at 59-51, looking for their first appearance in the Elite Eight. South Carolina is already there. The winner of our game will get the #1 team in the nation. This portion of the bracket matches up with the Wichita portion of the bracket.
Well, that's going to be an interesting game tomorrow. The defense of Louisville going against Tennessee, and how will they handle a player inside like Tamari Key. And then the defense of Michigan and the rebounding of Naz Hillman going against the three-point shooting of the South Dakota Coyotes. Those are going to be two good ones tomorrow night.
You heard Bill Finley say it. We've got 10 minutes left to play. One team moving on. Look, if you're Iowa State, you definitely have a run in you because you can score the basketball. And they shoot the three just as well as Creighton does.
Iowa State needs Lexi Donarski to really get involved offensively. I think that could really help their cause. She only has 5 points so far.
Averages 14 a game. She's number 21 in white at the top of the key right now for Iowa State. Ashley Jones showing off her patience. And Creighton basketball. Foul is on Morgan Kane, her first.
And I think the biggest concern that Iowa State has to have is that they do have to guard better. They've got to be able to stay alert defensively, communicate on the ball screens, jump to the ball and not get face cut.
Morgan probably got shaken up a little bit, dropped to one knee. Bronski, layup. That's 22 paint points now for Creighton. Molly's playing some good defense on Ashley Jones, too.
Well, she's got good size on Ashley Jones, so really taking away the threat of Jones being able to score in the paint.
We'll see Donarski at the free throw line next.
But check out Peyton Bronski. She sets the screen, pops out, right? The defense recovers, and automatically she puts it on the deck and heads to the rim before the defense can recover. Smart basketball.
Lexi Donarski hits the first free throw. This foul was called on Lauren Jensen, her first.
I think Lexi Donarski's got to get involved offensively to really help Iowa State chip away at this lead.
A first-team All-Big 12 selection in her sophomore campaign with Iowa State.
See, now with Morganson on Ashley Jones, now's the time to go post up inside, not when Maly is guarding Ashley Jones.
And they go right to Jones, but 3 defenders meet her, and there is a jump ball. It's possession arrow to Creighton.
Whenever Ashley Jones gets the basketball, she is like a magnet. You had 4 Creighton players that were looking to head in to help defensively.
Well, she is Iowa State's all-time leading scorer, over 2,300 points in her career. Bronski cutting to the rack again.
If she was the one player watching them play against Iowa that you say, okay, if you pay too much attention to Lauren Jensen, you've got Bronski that's going to be able to go make it happen. And you look, she's got a toughness about her. There's a little spice to her game.
Rimbaugh drills it. That's 11 three-pointers for Creighton, and Iowa State has to call timeout. Bluejays feeling it from deep.
May be a double-digit seed, but that doesn't matter. Once the ball is tipped, all you got to do is believe, and you got to believe Tatum Rimbaugh does, and she's bringing the business.
Jensen for the lead, and she's got it! It's the Hawkeye transfer! Creighton's on top! Martin to inbound, looking for Serrano. She's got the catch! And shot! Tipped up, no good! And Creighton has pulled off the stunning upset in Iowa City!
You think Creighton's forgot that feeling that they had on Sunday?
Not 1 second. They relive that in their mind over and over, and I believe that that's what has given Creighton belief that they can pull this thing off today.
We have 2 double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2010. Creighton is one of them. South Dakota, the other 10 seed. We will see them tomorrow in action. But Creighton has come out in the second half. They have gone 6 of 10 from behind the arc, and 5 different players have hit a 3.
When you watch how they share and move the basketball, part of the key to the motion offense is a screen is like an assist. You've got to be willing to get somebody else open, because when you do that, then more times than not, you create an opportunity for yourself.
Morgan Maly has to take the shot. It's short. She already has a career-high 21 points. Maly Ryan, bucket.
Man, Iowa State is not out of this thing by any means.
Maly Ryan has 16 points. And Tatum Rimbaugh's shot goes over the backboard. Feel that energy coming from Creighton right out of the locker room at halftime. They scored 29 points in the 3rd quarter. And that confidence has filtered over to their defense, too. Jones looking for Donarski. And the foul whistled on Tatum Rimbaugh, her 4th.
Did you watch Maly Mogensen? She has the responsibility of guarding Ashley Jones, number 24. Mogensen spent a lot of time in that Iowa game. She had the responsibility of guarding Caitlin Clark in that second half.
Caitlin Clark, one of those finalists for the Naismith Player of the Year.
That was a big-time assignment.
Morgan Maly was trying to come across the lane. Emily Ryan whistled for the foul, her first.
So now Creighton has 3 fouls, team fouls, Iowa State 2. Why that's important? The first team to get to the POTUS could continue to attack and get opportunities at the free throw line.
5 fouls gets you to the bonus. She can defend and she can score. Maly Mogensen. Look, it hasn't just been the threes. Creighton has 26 paint points, too.
And that's what Creighton takes such pride in, is that if you take away our threes, they have another way that they can beat you. They're so smart at creating layup opportunities.
Steffi, this Creighton team is also super competitive, too. Not just in the games, but in practice.
Yeah, guys, when we were talking to Lauren Jensen and Tatum Rimbaugh about that, she said there's been times during season, because as Jim Flannery has pointed out, he doesn't necessarily have to start with his best 5 players. It was so competitive, chippy in practice, players getting each other's face. I know that got Ket going a little bit.
Hey, I love it when you're competing in practice, because that means you're going to carry it over to games. But now Iowa State needs a little taste of that, little serving of that right now as they continue to chip away at this Creighton lead.
And that layup by Donarski cuts it to 8.
What'd I say? Lexi Donarski has got to produce offensively for Iowa State to advance to the Elite Eight.
Well, we have you covered all the way through the national championship game on our ESPN family of networks. The Final Four will be April 1st. The championship game is at 8 Eastern on April 3rd on ESPN. Both of these teams trying to take a step forward towards Minneapolis.
I'll be there, and I will be excited about any of the teams that are in this round that advance. We've got some great competitors, terrific talent, and we'll be ready to highlight to see after we see what 4 teams are going to get there.
South Carolina has advanced to the Elite Eight already here in Greensboro. One of these teams trying to meet them there. Donarski's layup is off. And now Jim Flannery will call a timeout here. 3:11 left to play. Creighton up by 8. It's time now for tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. How about giving it to the Creighton Bluejays and how they share the basketball?
How they move the ball is the key to their offense. Very rarely are you going to see them take contested shots. Very rarely are you going to see Creighton stand still, always cutting, moving, screening for each other. This is the most unselfish ball club in how they move and share the basketball and spread the wealth.
They are first in the nation in assists per game, first in assist to turnover ratio. 15 assists tonight, 7 different players have an assist.
Well, that's because they're willing to find the open player, because they know they're going to get it back. It's like pay it forward. I'm going to give it to you because I know if I cut, you're going to get it to me.
Iowa State did not touch that basketball, so the Cyclones will take it. 9th turnover by Creighton, each team with 9 turnovers tonight. They said watch out for Lexi Donarski. She's number 21 on the wing. Or they'll take that layup from Emily Ryan.
Well, we spread the floor out. Donarski has shown the ability and the capability, the want to score, and so you've got to respect her. What does that do? That opens up Emily Ryan on the drive inside.
And then Iowa State follows that with a little pressure. Possession arrow to the Cyclones.
Like, this is a little bit of a reminder of what happened last Sunday, because Creighton was up on Iowa. Iowa chipped away and got themselves in the position down the stretch in the fourth quarter.
Then Creighton ended that game on a 6-0 run. Now this is working for the Cyclones offense.
Right, and Maly Ryan able to drive in and finish. Caitlin Clark on the drive at times was experiencing some contact and unable to finish.
It's an 11-2 run, Iowa State. Under 2 to play. Seven seconds on the shot clock. This is Lauren Jensen. And Aubrey Jones is foul, or is the one fouling. Her third. Well, the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? We're gonna have a close finish in this game. 69-64, Lauren Jensen at the free throw line. Got the first, got the second.
That's the fourth foul on Iowa State. So if they foul Creighton any more down the stretch, Creighton is shooting free throws. Creighton still has one more foul to give.
Ashley Jones, no on the three. Offensive rebound. Jones working baseline this time.
She got away with a hook.
Trying to dish it off to her sister. How soon does Iowa State start fouling?
Well, it's a two-possession game right now. They just cannot allow, and they have a foul to give. They probably need to go ahead and use it.
Well, the next foul by Iowa State will send Creighton to the free throw line. This is a foul on Peyton Bronski of Creighton. Her second. Both teams now with 4 team fouls, so on any foul, we're shooting.
When you're in that situation, you know the next shot is, the next foul means you go to the free throw line. You need to get something going to the basket. Keep the pressure on the defense.
Do cut into the hoop. Under a minute to go. Elite Eight on the line.
It's still a two-possession game. Iowa State needs to foul.
And Ashley Jones will do that to stop the clock with 43.7 seconds remaining. The third foul on Jones. Ashley Jones, a veteran, the senior on this team, the all-time leading scorer in Iowa State history. Doesn't want that season to end early.
Well, Rimbaud is about the weakest free throw shooter of Creighton. She shoots 67%. So I got to believe Iowa State down the stretch, and she just missed that free throw.
But got the second. And now Iowa State will call timeout. They will advance the basketball. They will have 1 timeout remaining. Creighton still has 3 timeouts.
And with 43 seconds left, there's plenty of time. So what Iowa State wants to do, they don't have to necessarily settle for the 3, but they've got to have a quick strike. They can go hard to the basket because, again, if there's a foul and you don't get the bucket, you're going to the free throw line. Otherwise, if you attack the basket and then the defense collapses, then you've got plenty of options to shoot the 3. Now, for Creighton, what Creighton needs to do is switch all screens and really run Iowa State off the free throw line, off the 3-point line, and force the 2. Okay, a 2 doesn't hurt you as bad as a 3, and then get the ball in, but make sure that when you inbound the basketball, if you're not going to advance it, that you get it to your highest free throw shooter.
Iowa State on the inbound on the far side. Lexi Donarski ready to send it in for the Cyclones. to Emily Ryan right under the basket. And there's the 2 for the Cyclones.
Now you got to foul. You got to get to her early.
But that's who you want, as you said. Tatum Rimbaugh, not one of the best free throw shooters for Creighton at 67%.
Now Iowa State, they have one timeout. Be interesting to see if Bill Finley wants to use that or advance or off a missed free throw. If Rimbaugh misses this, they just want to get it and bring it. She makes that one, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Yeah, Iowa State would have to use that timeout in order to advance the basketball to half court. Got them both. And Bill Finley will use that timeout. No, excuse me, that was a Creighton called timeout. So because Creighton called it, Iowa State can't advance the basketball.
Well, it'll force Bill Finley, if he wants to advance the basketball, he's got to use that timeout and he's got to burn it. But I think also Flannery wanted to call that timeout to get his defense set and not really, because let me tell you, we've watched Bill Finley. He's got a circumstance for every option, every situation. We saw him have 5 players take the ball, be out of bounds on a press break. So in looking for the long ball, got to believe that Iowa State is going to come, try to score quick, and then they've got to foul again right away and see if they can play the odds, probably foul Rimbaugh again and put her at the free throw line and make her hit it. But Iowa State will want to extend this game as long as possible.
They will not use their final timeout, so they will have to go the length of the floor. They switch inbounders and give it up to Lexi Donarski. Brodsky stayed straight up defensively, and there was no foul called.
We knew there was going to be some trickeration, so when the ball was inbounded, then kicked back out to Lexi Donarski, I thought it was clean. I thought she was straight up. Because remember, the defense can move side to side and back. They just can't move forward into the offense, and I think that's how the officials look at how they make that call.
Two more free throws for Rimbaugh.
No more timeouts for Iowa State. So now Bill Finley has got to talk through all the situations for the rest of the game. Here, he will look for the 3. I believe so, because he's got those options. He has Donarski. He's got both Jones in the game. Got to rebound the basketball if you don't make the shot and then kick back immediately. As soon as you score, all right, then you have Creighton when they are inbounding the ball. Creighton now has 2 timeouts left, so Flannery can use that and advance the basketball. But he may want to take time off the clock. If he knows and has confidence in his press offense, just get the ball in, go to the free throw line, and work on extending this lead.
Creighton is trying to become the 4th double-digit seed to advance to the Elite 8, the first since Oregon did it in 2017. Those players that Iowa State has on the floor right now. Ashley Jones, who can do it all. She is a 3-point threat, and remember, she is a senior.
And she came into this program with the mentality, wanted to be the best player to play at Iowa State. She is their all-time leading scorer, broken all kinds of records throughout her career in Ames, Iowa.
And it's stolen away by Creighton. Rimbaugh is immediately fouled. Creighton's defense stepping up once again.
Creighton has a certain level of unforeseen toughness. at every position when they step on the floor. They bring a little bit of grit. They bring a little bit of confidence. They bring that ability to score the ball.
One of two for Tatum Rimbaugh. And Iowa State's got to hurry. Lexi Donarski, no on the three. Possession arrow pointing to Creighton. 15.6 seconds away from the Elite Eight.
You see Bill Finley tell his team, don't foul. They want to take a chance of anybody getting hurt. You're not going to turn things around right now in 15 seconds.
They remember how good Sunday felt when they upset Iowa, who was a 2 seed. How about going to the Elite Eight? Creighton making more history. The Blue Jays on to the Elite Eight.
The unique style of the Creighton Blue Jays, the offense that just moves. They share the basketball. A little bit of everything from everybody is just what you need. Look, when it comes to March and it comes to advancing, it may not always be the most talented team, but the best team. And that is how the Creighton Blue Jays played today.
Let's check out tonight's player of the game. It's brought to you by Organic Protein. It's Morgan Maly, a career high 21 points as she wills her team, the Creighton Blue Jays, into the Elite Eight.
Morgan Maly, 7 of 10 from the floor, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. She brought it with her size offensively, both inside and out, but also defensively. She was a big presence inside for the Blue Jays.
Creighton, the 4th double-digit seed ever to advance to the Elite Eight. And Morgan Maly is standing by with Steffi.
Morgan, wow, you guys' first ever Elite Eight. How does it feel?
Unreal. This is such a fun environment to play. This game was so fun. Iowa State was a great matchup, and this is unbelievable.
You know, you guys take down Iowa, you take down Iowa State. What is it about this team that makes you guys special?
We're just so tough. We're so gritty. We take advantage.
I think we both got wet.
Yeah.
Go enjoy this one.
Thank you.
The upsets continue for Creighton. The 10 seed is moving on to the Elite Eight to face South Carolina. For Iowa State, it was an incredible run, making their first Sweet 16 since 2010. But this time, it is Creighton moving on. This Creighton team came in with some grit, with some determination, and they got the job done. The Elite Eight bound are the Blue Jays. We will see South Carolina and Creighton battle in the Elite Eight on Sunday here in Greensboro. You can see that game on ESPN. What a night in the Sweet 16. Creighton with the upset. Again, the Blue Jays on to the Elite Eight. 76-68 is your final.